from downtown Bakersfield. 23 ABC News at 11 starts now.
Good evening. Controversy at the county elections office. The Kern County election official who 23 ABC was told retired from the elections department just days before Super Tuesday, now telling 23 ABC News she didn't retire but was ousted. She spoke to us live on 23 ABC News at 6.
I did not retire. I was literally removed from my position last Thursday.
This coming just 5 days before voters head to the polls for Super Tuesday, election officials saying Assistant Register of Voters Jackie St. George announced her retirement. They told 23 ABC it was all part of their plan since 2015, despite what looks like a sudden departure. However, St. George said she was told that she was on a year's probation and that she didn't need to be told the reason for it. St. George said as far as she knows, it wasn't due to preparation for the primary. She did say she thinks the elections office is prepared for the March election, but was critical of the leadership.
They have a very good staff there. Everybody that I've worked with there were very, very confident, they know their jobs inside and out. It's just unfortunate that they have bad leadership.
23 ABC reached out to county officials for a response on what St. George said this evening. We have not received a response as of news time. Meanwhile, we did speak to the elections office and Mary Bedard earlier today before St. George spoke to us this evening. The elections office wouldn't provide details into why Jackie St. George had left her post so suddenly. Election officials saying she leaves behind more than 20 years of experience, but that the person who is scheduled to fill in is temporarily qualified. Election officials telling 23 ABC it will not impact the upcoming election.
I don't expect any impact on Tuesday's election, but we were planning for it. We put together a reorganization plan in 2015.
Bedard telling us that Amy Espinoza, the assistant auditor controller, will be stepping into George's position. Now to the presidential race for 2020 and the countdown to the South Carolina primary. Tonight, Joe Biden with a major endorsement there. It comes after Democrats took on frontrunner Bernie Sanders in a recent debate. ABC's Mary Bruce is in Charleston, South Carolina with the new details we're learning about the race.
Let's go, Let's go! Today in South Carolina, Joe Biden got a big boost. The coveted endorsement of the state's most powerful Democrat, Congressman Jim Clyburn.
I know Joe. We know Joe, but most importantly, Joe knows us.
Biden is promising voters a comeback.
I promise you this, if you send me out of South Carolina with a victory, there will be no stopping us.
Bernie Sanders says that won't happen.
Joe is a friend of mine and a decent guy, but that is not the voting record or the history that is going to excite people, bring them into the political process, and beat Trump.
But on the debate stage, Sanders' rivals argued he is the one who won't be able to take on Trump.
Vladimir Putin thinks that Donald Trump should be president of the United States, and that's why Russia is helping you get elected so you'll lose to him.
Sanders fired back.
Hey, Mr. Putin, if I'm president of the United States, trust me, you're not going to interfere in any more American elections.
It was a pile-on, the candidates pummeling the frontrunner.
If you think the last 4 years has been chaotic, divisive, toxic, exhausting, imagine spending the better part of 2020 with Bernie Sanders versus Donald Trump. Think about what that will be like for this country.
Biden, eager to stunt Sanders' momentum, attacked him on everything from health care to gun control.
Bernie, in fact, hasn't passed much of anything. The fact of the matter is, but I get to answer.
Sanders unfazed.
I'm hearing my name mentioned a little bit tonight. I wonder why.
And now President Obama, who has been largely silent throughout this race, weighing in with a rare statement. He is now calling on TV stations here in South Carolina to stop running a Republican ad that takes Obama's words out of context to attack Joe Biden. In a statement, Obama's office says the ad is, quote, clearly designed to suppress turnout among minority voters in South Carolina and is twisting his words to mislead viewers. Mary Bruce, ABC News, Charleston.
And 23 ABC wants to help you make an informed decision on Super Tuesday, which is less than a week away on March 3rd and the day California voters go to the polls. We have information on local measures, national and local candidates, along with propositions on our website, turnto23.com.
Well, it was definitely a warm day across Kern County. Bakersfield did have record-breaking heat, a high of 82 degrees. So that is 16 degrees above seasonal. And the old record of 80 was set back in 1992. And again, we were well above that. And that's all thanks to high pressure that's dominating just off the coast. So we did see mostly clear skies today. But as we head into the next several days, those clouds will be increasing, especially by Thursday evening. And you can expect that Friday, Saturday, as well as on Sunday. And we are tracking our next storm system as we head into the weekend, but temperatures are not going to be cooling down yet. We will be warm again Thursday and potentially breaking another heat record on Friday. But I do have more details on that storm system that's coming. You can expect an increase in winds and the potential for some rain. More details coming up next.
We want to turn now to the latest in the coronavirus emergency. Tulare County public health officials announcing several individuals in Tulare County have been placed on voluntary quarantine. The Tulare County Health Department says 9 people are on self-isolation and being monitored for symptoms because they recently traveled to China or have been in contact with someone who had. 23 ABC's Alex Prescia has more on President Trump addressing the outbreak and the Centers for Disease Control warning Americans to be prepared for the inevitable here at home.
They're working overtime at Los Angeles International Airport, disinfecting to help prevent any possible spread of the coronavirus. A Korean Airlines flight attendant who was believed to have worked flights in and out of the airport tested positive for the virus.
We're disinfecting LAX every hour. We're making sure that those points of entry and those places where we could see somebody come in and create a vector are as secure as we can possibly make them.
In Washington, President Trump insisting the country is prepared.
We're very, very ready for this, for anything, whether it's going to be a breakout of larger proportions or whether or not we're at that very low level.
Announcing Vice President Pence will take charge of the country's fight against COVID-19.
I look forward, Mr. President, to serving in this role and bringing together all the members of the Corona Task Force.
This is the current heat map, with the virus spreading to 16 European countries in less than a week. In Italy, all Catholic masses have been canceled in Milan, but the Pope still celebrated Ash Wednesday in Rome. Students studying abroad are packing their bags and heading home.
Here are my other friends over here who are packing in our apartment. We're getting on an early flight tomorrow.
Coming back to the U.S., where there are already dozens of cases, and health officials say we should prepare for more. Health officials are also recommending that Americans be more vigilant by cleaning the surfaces that they touch, washing their hands more frequently, and covering their mouths and noses when coughing. And if you're sick, staying at home. Alex Prescia, ABC News, Washington.
Meanwhile, on a lighter note, back here at home, we are learning more details on the funding being given to cities throughout the Central Valley, all to help improve our build new parks. Several of our cities receiving funding here in Kern County. Assemblymember Rudy Salas applauded the California State Parks award of more than $13 million in new grants to create parks in the Central Valley. Specifically in Kern County, the city of Bakersfield, Delano, and Shafter will all be receiving investments to build new parks. In 2018, California voters passed the California Drought, Water Parks, Climate, Coastal Protection, and Outdoor Access for All Act, also simply known as Prop 68. The proposition directed $254.9 million to state parks for grants to create new parks for all Californians. According to Salas's office, this is the state's largest investment in grant funding history, targeted for underserved communities. Earlier this week, we mentioned one of the projects in Bakersfield coming from the grant funding was a new park in Southeast Bakersfield. So here's a look at the breakdown of the funding that's coming to Kern County. The city of Bakersfield is receiving just over $3 million. The city of Delano will receive $1.8 million. And Shafter is receiving the largest amount at $8.5 million. The plans for Shafter include creating the Shafter Community Park through the acquisition of 42.4 acres of land.